I'm holding my hair funny. Welcome back to DOREEN'S African Experiences. Maybe a flower will cheer me up. Hold on. All right, let's learn something new today. Welcome to DOREEN'S African Experiences. So, today we are going to learn why does your house have cracks in it? Or different causes of cracks in houses. And today I'm going to break down for you what causes the cracks and how can you avoid them. I think this flower is too big, it's destructive. Let me put it here. That's the purpose. Hey, my flower. Anyway, okay, let's discuss, okay? Now, cracks. For those of you that don't know what cracks are, locally we call it, or we call them enjatika. Now, I know most of you have seen cracks in your walls and you don't know why. Why is this crack here? What has caused it, you know? Why do I have cracks in my walls? What's going on? Is my house going to collapse? What can I do? All the answers are here today. We are going to start with the different types of cracks. We have what they call a hairline crack, we have what they call a structural crack, and then we have a settlement crack. There are three major types. Now, what causes these cracks, right? Now, the hairline crack is like the simplest to deal with. How do I put it? Imagine, do you remember my previous video? For those of you that were watching, I don't think you remember. But imagine you build in a wet area, okay? So every time you build your house in a wet area or a place that has water, what's going to happen is your house is going to absorb water and then spit it out. Absorb and dry, absorb and dry. Now, this process alone is going to make the soil that is beneath your house to become thin. What happens when the soil becomes thin? I know for you, when you look at your house, you look at a huge piece of land. But your house is not seated on that huge piece of land. Your house is seated in the foundation columns that were created for it. You understand? Like we excavate for the foundation, right? Like this. So you do different rooms, you circle, you measure, you go around the whole plot to decide where the walls are going to pass. So where the walls are passing, underneath the walls, even within the foundation itself, the walls of the foundation are going to swallow and spit water out, depending on what you're using to build. This is exactly why I don't advise people to build with soil bricks, especially in a wet place, because their absorption rate is really low. That also weakens the wall. But second, even these other ones, clay bricks, even the stones, aggregate stones, the concrete stones, they also absorb water and spit it out. But every time they spit it out, for some reason, it makes the ground where the foundation is seated weaker. Especially when the people that built your foundation did not excavate it to hard ground. When you're excavating for your foundation, you must dig until you find red, hard soil. The soil must be hard where your foundation is seated. If the soil where your foundation is seated is weak, your house is going to become weak over time. And what are the signs that your house has become weak? Cracks in the wall. It is simple as that. So a hairline crack does not, even if it expands so much, it rarely goes above 3 millimeters. It's always 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, 2.5, 1.5, 3 millimeters. That is easy to deal with. So it's not as serious. Oh my God, today is 4th of July. Is it Independence Day for the Americans? Happy 4th of July. Sorry, I don't keep track of certain things. Happy 4th of July. I hope you have a wonderful day. So, now for your foundation to be strong, for example, we already discussed in the previous live. If you didn't watch, please go and watch. I discussed how your foundation can be stronger. But today I'm bringing a new concept that I didn't discuss yesterday. The type of soil where your foundation sits. If your foundation is seated on soft soil, it's going to be weak, weak, weak. Because it keeps sinking. The whole building keeps sinking until it hits hard soil. And what do you think happens when the house keeps sinking? So the hairline crack comes from things like that. And then we have the structural cracks. Structural cracks, everything, by the way, all these problems are foundation based. If your foundation calculations are wrong, the material is wrong, it's not been cured well, you're rushing construction above what the material can handle, all this. Now, this is structure, but mostly because of the components of the foundation. Make sure your foundation is being constructed based on the house plan that you are calculated for. And make sure the house plan was not a copy and paste. It was specifically designed for your house. Yeah. So every time your foundation is wrong, in fact, all problems that happen to the house, especially when it comes to cracking, they stem from foundations. And then we have the we finished structure. What is this other one? Settlement. Now the settlement, the unique thing about settlement cracks in your wall is okay, water, yes, but there is another concept that is more crucial to the settlement crack. Hold on. It's the same. It's the same. I had to refer to the notes that I made. It's the same. Let me give you this. Any sort of movement in the foundation is going to make your house move. Your house can move in sync or it can move apart. Just because you built in a place, you cut all the trees. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Trees. Oh, excuse me. Trees are the biggest cause of settlement cracks. When you build your house, make sure if you're planting any trees, they are very far from the house. And make sure these trees are not going to produce very big roots, because when these roots are moving, they don't care which direction to move. They don't care if your house is in the direction where they are moving. When the roots are moving towards your house, they are going to crack your foundation, because for them, they are looking for water. And they don't care where the water is, as long as for them, they follow it and find it. When roots come close to your house like this, the pressure alone is going to crack your house in the ground. And then what happens? The upper is overwhelmed. The other thing about structural cracks, overloading. Or how do I put it? I explained it to you yesterday. You don't build a wall of 6 by 6, you build a wall of 9 by 9 or 8 by 9. Senge chamwenda, that's what we locally call it. Palm trees don't have big roots. Contrary to what people think, palm trees are friendly. They are very friendly. Their roots, yes, you stay by the water, I believe. That's why you have palm trees, because they consume a lot of water. But then there are people who build in a location that does not have a lot of water, and then they plant a water-based plant. A water-based plant is only going to increase root size when they can't find water. The roots become bigger the farther the root has to go to hunt for water. But where you all stay, now these videos are for people that are building solid houses. Most of your houses are prefabbished. They're like wood or and that what's the other material. This video is specifically for people that are building um, stone houses. You're building with bricks, blocks, and stones. But if you're building with wood, you're fine. Because it is almost impossible for a root to penetrate your wood. And if it does, it means you had a very poor quality piece of wood. Or the water had already destroyed it from the ground. And now it's just doing aftermath. It's not even destruction at this point. The water did the destruction. The tree simply needed food. So anyway, foundation, overwhelming. What do I mean by overwhelming? When you build a small foundation, like if your wall is not by 9 and it's by 6, it's going to overwhelm the house. And then on top of that, you go to roof this house with very heavy material. You have all this timber, you have all these roofs. The pressure alone is going to crack the walls. It's going to make them weak. I'm not a baddie, but thank you. I mean, buying membership would be nice. I don't have a single member on this platform. I need members. I have a very cheap membership that's less than $5. Guys, buy memberships. So anyway, fast forward. Let me give you the causes, or I've given you the types of cracks and what are the real dangers of this. But let me give you this. One thing I can confirm and I can tell you is, one, if and only if you do a poor foundation, these problems are inevitable. It doesn't matter if it's a hairline crack, if it's a structure crack, or it is a sediment crack. The cracks are going to come. The weaker your foundation, the weaker the building. Because you have to use different methods to actually go through with it. So let's look at the causes. I've already mentioned some of these. The weak foundation, I've discussed it. I've explained it to you. I've explained to you the, yesterday I explained to you the poor quality bricks. And it's not even just poor quality bricks. It is also bricks that have not fully cured or they were not burnt to maximum capacity. I explained the process of curing. Curing is the process of pouring water on a concrete something, anything concrete, to make it stronger. Water makes concrete stronger. Actually, water and air, they make concrete stronger. So when you make anything out of concrete, make sure you pour water on it for at least 14 days. Well, 7 days, but 14 is safest for it to become stronger. So when you poorly cure or when you don't cure, all of these affect you. Because the block is going to go up like this and then it's going to become so weak, even just mere touching it, it will crumble. So keep mind of that. Then poor material mixing or theft. Now, you people, these are things I explained yesterday. When you're building your foundation of the house, and then you discover that instead of mixing 3 wheelbarrows to 1 bag of cement, you're getting 6 wheelbarrows, 10 wheelbarrows to 1 bag of cement. This alone is going to drive you nuts and it's going to drive everything crazy because you're already over mixing and you can't guarantee the strength of what you're making because of over mixing. Expansive soils, yeah, expansive soils is common with the hairline structure. Remember, when the soil under your house absorbs water, it's going to spit it out. To absorb or kunywa, when it absorbs water, it becomes fat. Yeah, and then when it spits out the water, it becomes thin. When the water dries, what happens to your building because of this constant expansion and minimization of the ground beneath you? It's going to become weak. It's like if you keep pulling on my piece of hair, this is my hair. If you keep pulling it, pulling it up, eventually you're going to pull it off my head. Eventually. So that's what is happening to some of you, because the type of soil where you're you're learning something new. Thank you for watching. So every time your soil where you build keeps expanding and contracting. This is why we make suggestions and we tell you, oh, don't build with this type of material in your foundation. We are not trying to scam you out of your money. We are trying to give you the best possible alternative, because we know what are the repercussions of building with certain materials in certain types of land. Because I promise you, when that house cracks, and also some of you, when you find a crack in a wall, don't just apply sand and cement in the cracks. Find out, investigate what is causing these cracks, okay? When you find out what is causing the cracks, then apply the right methods and mechanisms. Otherwise, stop guessing. Most of you are existing off guesswork. You see one big crack here, and you're like, oh, my wall is cracking. Mix for me cement. Mix it. Make it very strong. And then you come and you slap it there. I promise you, within a week and a half or 2 weeks, it will separate again. It will. You can't control that. Expansing soil, overloading the structure. Yeah, overload. You cannot build a 6x6 wall, and then after that you go and start saying I want a hidden roof. People must climb up there. They must climb up there and make for me a hidden roof. Like, what the hell? Are you even serious? So that's it. Today I won't be talking for too long. Unless you have questions. If you don't have questions, then I'm gone. I need to rest. I just came back from the hospital. That's why I'm pacing back to back, and the medicine is doing a number on me. All right, no questions. Thank you for watching, and take care of yourselves. Happy 4th of July to the Americans. Take care.